Hi everybody, I wanted to talk a little bit about your inner child and the needs of your inner child, the wants of your inner child, and what that has to do with you manifesting a soul purpose that is in alignment with your truth. So I've been working with a few clients in a closed container. We've been journeying and exploring this theme of the inner child. And what's really fascinating is that sometimes when we're trying to create something that we feel is full of passion and it inspires us, if it is clouded by some sort of unmet need from the time when we were children, and it carries forth into us trying to create from that place of trying to validate ourselves or to get validated by our parents because of this unmet need or whatever it was, it clouds the purity of what you're trying to create. It becomes more selfish instead of being a selfless, beautiful project that you're trying to offer out into the world, right? And this is really the highest vibration of our manifestations, is that it serves in some way more than ourselves. It serves the greater whole versus it's serving our own need to heal. And this is something that is very interesting to observe when you're differentiating between what you needed then as a child and what you actually wanted. So for example, when I was a child, I needed to be loved and to be held, to be cared for in a certain way, but I didn't receive that because my parents were not capable of that, right? So to satisfy my unmet need, I have to create it in the now. I have to actively do tangible things, right? So some of the tangible things I can do right now is look for certain experiences that help me feel seen, heard, loved, right? So that was in my life anyway, through certain workshops, through certain like yoga, through meditation, through shamanic breath work, through shamanic experiences, through coaching, right? So I sought experiences that helped meet that unmet need. And then in my relationships in life, I look for friends and partners who can support me in feeling like I'm met and loved and cared for, right? So those are active things you can tangibly do for the unmet needs. And when those unmet needs are then satiated in the now, and you don't feel this grudge of like, oh, well, I wish that my parents could have touched me this way, said these things to me. The reality is they didn't, they never will, because that time is over. And so now what? Now what do you choose? What are you going to choose with the acknowledgement of what you needed, but also acknowledging that what you needed is, long gone, unfortunately, right? It's kind of past. So what can you choose to do right now? And this is where oftentimes we get tripped up, because then we go, oh, well then I want to build this really successful business to prove to everyone that I did it and I made it and that they were all completely wrong about me and right? So then you're creating something that's supposed to be of selfless service and for the greater whole, the benefit of the greater whole, but it's out of this unconscious, vindictive, spiteful, selfish thing of trying to prove yourself or trying to prove to another whatever it is. And so that's when our manifestations backfire, because pure soul purpose-based manifestation is always selfless in the way it presents versus selfish, right? The byproduct of it benefiting you is a byproduct, right? You reap the rewards of, let's say, financial reciprocation and abundance if your project does well, but not because you're wanting to make more money or to, be more famous or whatever it is. It's this need of approval, of recognition, of, right? It's like, I want to be famous kind of feeling that gets us tripped up because it's coming from this unmet need. So soul purpose manifestations, if they were genuine and pure, it is simply you offering what you have purely as you to be received openly by others in service, and that's it. It doesn't come with the whole baggage of the unmet needs of the inner child. That's a pure want. So needs and wants. So it's very important for you to consider. So I invite you to consider if what you're creating now, right now, whatever passion that fills your heart, consider and investigate. Is it coming from this thing, from an unmet thing from the past? Or is it genuinely just a reflection of where you are, who you purely are? And if it is not, and it's coming from this other place, then you have some digging to do. You have some questions to ask yourself. And I'll leave you with that, because I'm sure this will open up a whole can of worms. Super exciting stuff. I just felt inspired to share that because it's been coming up with some folks in my container. And if you have any comments or any thoughts about needs, wants of the inner child, and what that has to do with you and your current soul purpose and what you're manifesting and creating in your life right now in the way of any passion projects you have, please write it in the comments below. I would be so excited and also curious to hear what's happening with you guys. All right, thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you soon.